Greetings, all frog here. Let's play some Factorio efficiently. This is another sped up version. What happened here is actually I played for about 25 minutes and forgot to record. So what I'm doing right now is I am setting up the red belt. You'll notice it's in a different place because I emptied everything that wasn't the walls and moved them. I completely redid them, moved them around. And I'm not done, but I get a really good handle on it in this hour, just because I wanted stuff to get finished, because there was just too much time. So you'll see in my belt I'm crafting the remaining science that I needed to do 50-50-50. I realize over here I never finished setting these up in the last one. This will probably be the last one I do this week that's sped up, only because I just don't have that kind of time to record it. I probably shouldn't have done it for this one, but I'm glad I did, because ultimately it's going to work out. It's just going to work out for the better. Here I am looking at my science buffer, if you will, a buffer. It's kind of a speed thing, and I realized that it's poorly designed. So we're going to just do one color for each, and then we'll throw in one for the blue, and that'll make it up. I'm cannibalizing parts because I don't want to stop the crafting that I'm doing in my belt to make this happen. So I'm just, you'll see me do it again later. I'm just taking pieces from other places. Somewhere along the way too, I ended up with fewer smart chests, and I don't know how that happened. I took apart the same things, I'm putting them all back, but I have less. It occurs to me, it's so late, I'm so tired, that I may never have actually checked my inventory. So the next time the inventory opens, I'm going to have to check to see if there's more than the 30 that are in my belt. But I think I'm actually out of smart chests, and I have no idea why. Now I know why, now that I'm thinking about it, because I crafted stuff for the logistics network, and every one of them needs a smart chest. It's a good reason. Becomes slightly frustrating by the end of this. So here I am, just copying from one place to another, getting sure that I get this new system. I'm hoping it'll work really well. We don't know yet, but I'm hoping that it will allow us to at least move the recipes along a little bit faster. I apologize. I'm probably going to be cracking my knuckles during this whole thing. This is bad because my hands have nothing to do other than crack knuckles, and it feels good. It is really warm in here today. It's unseasonably warm in Ohio. It was 70 degrees today, and it is the 3rd of November. It shouldn't be 70 degrees. It feels bad. I'm ready for the snow. But then again, I'm a winter baby, so there you go. So just doing all the wiring, making sure that everything gets where it needs to go, making sure that we have those pieces in the right spot, and hopefully it'll be good. We'll test it in the next episode, but it should be fine. And then as I get more science packs, I'm adding them into the buffer system directly, and it'll be just hunky-dory. Here I'm checking, hoping that I had wire, because I'm out of wire. And again, I don't want to stop the science, so what I'm doing now is I'm just setting up a little bit of wire in the empty space that I have now, and I'm just going to manually make it using the crafting machines. Assemblers, if you will. If you won't, well, too bad, because that's what they are. The science actually worked fine. You didn't get to see that. There was a bit of a snafu with the steel because I had forgotten to connect the inserter to take from the steel box and put it on the line. But as you can see, it's working fine now. There was very minor trouble. And here I am just going piece by piece and just moving some things along, just to try and get some wire, because I need some wire. Got to be able to hook all these bad boys back together. I almost want to have a stockpile of colored wire, but that part does seem like cheating because it's not in the intermediary products. I don't feel guilty having any intermediary product that stockpiles, but if it's not, then I'm going to try and do it without. This is where I find out that I have the wrong green network and things are bad, so I have to start over. I'm going to do that after I lay the track down, but I will realize that here in a minute, that I actually have combined my two green networks. There's the one that controls just the exit, so I get the right materials coming off the belt into the science area, and then another one that actually is the reset line, and I've crossed them. I don't do that yet, apparently, but I will notice that before this is all done. I think it's when I go to connect this set switch, because it doesn't reach, and so I connect into there, and I'm like, okay, great, no problem. And then I'm like, wait a minute, that's no good. Wait, how that has it too? What's going on? So I start pulling down a couple of poles and starting some things over. because it's wrong. Something is wrong on the internet. We must fix it. Excuse me. Double checking on the science, moving some poles around, trying to make sure that I can get the green to where it needs to go. I see that it's still connected. What's going on? And there's just one more that I have to disconnect, and it'll solve the problem. Thankfully, because that would have been really annoying. So I need to loop into there. Boom, Bob's your uncle. And now that's the actual reset pole, and the two networks are no longer combined together. So everything will work fine. And we connect it up together, and barring any setback, it'll be good, and it'll work twice as fast. That's the theory, anyway. Hopefully, in practice, that will prove to be the case. Okay, so now I go back and I start thinking about, well, I'm always thinking about the science because I'm really wanting this logistics system to be done. But I get my wires, everything, get that moving along as it needs to be, switch over between the two colors, and just finish it up. After this point, I definitely am considering finishing the center loop. I think I like the configuration. You'll see by the end of this video, spoiler alert, that it's all laid out. It's not all connected yet. So what we're going to finish up in the next episode. But we are at the point where, as you'll notice right there are my logistics robots. I'm almost there. I need one more. Boom, done. So I'm making my 25 logistics robots. And we're going to try and get them in the air before this is all over. Okay, so this is where I'm going to start laying out the next part. So along the top, I have the gears and the belt, because I want that to have the priority. If I'm ordering belt, there's a reason I'm ordering belt, and I need that belt probably before I need anything else. So I'm going to put that first in the lane. The gears have to be first. I think there's no question about that. The iron for the gears must go first, because if I'm ordering something, invariably there are going to be a lot of gears. So I need a lot of gears. I probably honestly should have had 2 gear factories, but I'm doing it with just the one. The nice thing about redoing this is that I have managed to find a more compact layout. It's a little more complicated to read as you're just looking at it, but since we've done this so many times in the past now, we really don't need to have a nice, clear, crisp picture to know how this is going to work. We're pretty good the way it is, so we can compress, which is good because I want to leave the bottom area open for unloading, and I wouldn't have had enough room. We did remove the lights and the iron sticks completely, so we'll have to add those back in somewhere. I'm almost thinking that I want to put them in where the where I put the solar panels in with the other electrical poles, but then we'd have to bring iron into that, and I'm not really sure that that's what I want to do. So here we're double checking my math, because the math for those underground belts is stupidly difficult. The same thing with the pipe to ground. So I double and triple check that math, and I'm fairly certain that it is correct. So we're going to have yellow underground, red underground, and then we're going to have pipe to ground, and then the steel chest. That's what's going to close out that side. Just taking a look, doing some calculations on how much spacing I'm actually going to need, and that's what I need, because I've got 1 input, so we just need the 5 total combinators, and then there you go. Why I put it underground there, I'm not sure, but I did. You'll notice an error, and I just did there too, so we had to make sure to put that space. I have no inserters, so I'm going to have to cannibalize it from somewhere at some point, because I'm not going to stop the robots. And as you can see, it takes a long time to craft each robot frame. Now those are done, but then it takes a while to craft everything else, because we need those advanced circuits for the logistics robots, and those take some time. Just planning things out. And there it is. Now we just have to hook it all up. This has been a fun experiment, honestly. I've liked this type of Factorio. It's very challenging. It's not at all typical. What I've noticed here is that we're actually backing up. We're filling up our chests. And that's when I start thinking, oh, I need some storage chests. Okay, let's get some storage chests. No, wait. Before that, I need some requesters. All right, give me some requesters. Okay, now I'll do some storage. No. Now I need a RoboPort. Okay, now give me that stuff. So we need the RoboPort. And it's nice, actually. The RoboPort does cover quite a bit of the area that I was hoping to do. I'll need 2 more before it's all said and done. But for now, it's all right. And then when we move on to other loops, we'll need more as well. I think I might do a warfare loop. There's some other possibilities, but I think that in terms of saturating this loop, it's pretty much done. The one thing that I was considering adding in at the bottom, because we do have the compiler already set up for them. Oh no, actually, because I took down all of... No, they're still there. Is the actual combinators. They're not being made anywhere right now, so I definitely want to hook those back in, and I think that would be the last outside loop. We'll do a loop just for the combinators and call it a day for this loop. Whether or not I'm going to continue after finishing this first main loop to do more items that are in there, I don't know. I'm kind of at an impasse because, like I said, I do like it. It is challenging, but at the same time, there's not a lot of you watching right now. Let's be honest, this is not one of the most watched series. Not that that's a major factor, because I'm not doing this for the views. I'm doing this because I enjoy it, and I'm enjoying this series. It was dragging, but this reconfigure is re-energizing me, and I'm feeling that it's definitely a good thing. But will I go on for 150 episodes of this? I don't think so. What I'm thinking of doing right now, my plan. I'm not talking about anything that I'm doing on screen right now, because this is all just. It's just I'm hooking it up, right? You've seen this dozens of times already, and I don't think I've made any mistakes, so that's kind of nice. You'll have to let me know if you see any. But the whole kind of plan of this is that I'm going to take the finished factory save file and send it to root negative, and say, hey, if you want to take your idea or your proof of concept that you made for Gopher's idea, here it is. Now I still want to put in Haltech's fluid managing system. I could use it right now. I'd really like some advanced oil processing, and actually by the end of this video, I'm pretty sure that's what I set the science to, because it's just overloaded on the heavy and light oil, and I need to crack it, and I can't do that right now. So it'll be nice when I get to cracking, I can actually set a pump to run, so I could say, hey, if there's not at least X amount of petroleum, then run the light oil cracking to the petroleum. And then if there's not X amount of light oil, run the heavy oil cracking into light oil, right? So that's something that I'm definitely interested in doing at a very basic level. It's not anything like the balancer that Haltech has suggested, but it's the simple part. We'll start with that, and then you'll see some serious shit. Because we'll try to implement Haltech's fluid balancer. Assuming I can figure it out. As I have said many times before, I am not an electrical engineer. I just realized I hadn't had an offloading spot for the pipe to ground, which would be awkward. When this is done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up an order of 4 of everything. Because you need evens for the entire system to work. So we're going to do 4 of everything to make it go. I've hooked that back up just to get a little more plastic. I'm pretty sure that the way it's drawn, we're still going to get more batteries, but just so there's at least something going to both, and we'll just see where it goes. Here's where I do the stupid pipe to ground math again. And I realized it's the exact same ratio as the underground belt, so we'll just copy that and change the items. It's a beautiful thing. I don't know what root negative is going to say. I don't even know if he's going to look at it, to be honest with you, but hopefully he does, and if he comes back and watches the series, this is how we built it. So it's your fault. I blame you. And Gopher. And then Mal for actually doing it the first time before there were combinators, which is just mind-boggling. You're doing logic gates before there were combinators. More of the same, really. Just getting everything wired up. But the order to test, certainly we'll do 4 of everything, just to do a quick test of whether or not it's working. I'm not going to order any individual gears. There's no point to that. Gears will be made throughout the course of the event. I'm not going to order any individual green circuits, again, because there's no point to that. They will be made throughout the course of the event. But we will get, 4 red circuits. We'll get 4 pipe to ground. We'll get 4 steel chests. We'll get 4 smart chests. Actually, I probably don't need the steel chests either, because if I get smart chests, then I made the steel chests, so we'll do that. I don't need to order pipe because I'm going to order pipe to ground, that sort of thing, right? I don't need to test the offloader. That's the same. I haven't changed anything with that, so I know that the retrieval system is going to work. It's just a matter of will the creation system work, and I think the answer is yes. And a good way to test that is just to use 4. We don't need to test the... and here it is! It's our first RoboPort. We don't need to test the outside, like, we don't need to test the... not inserters, the assemblers. We don't need to test the assemblers. We don't need to test the power because those have already been done and nothing that we're doing is changing that. The exception is we did change the circuits. Actually, that doesn't affect the power that I have because I don't have substations. So there you go. We've had no complaints from the biters since, so this is good. There I go, setting up the requesters so they're always full. These I want to be full of everything. Notice, I guess it doesn't look too bad when you're playing on 3 times speed. They look like they're going kind of normal, but they're so slow. The robots are so slow. Those are going to be some of the first things that I upgrade, I think, would be robot speed. But we're at a premium with research based on the time issue that I don't really want to research something that isn't universal. You know, the robot speed, that's just for me. Obviously, there's already enough of a backlog that they'll be able to keep up. It won't be an issue, but... I set the plastic only to 1,000 because I don't think we need a ton of plastic around. Not in the box because we're not going to be ordering a bunch at a time. But it's definitely, as we've seen, the copper and the iron, it could be an issue. I haven't set the storage unit up yet. I don't think I did by the end of the video either because we're still making them. We've got some pump jacks that are ready to go as well because we need more oil. So I'm setting up the other side of the loop. We're going to put steel chests at the end, or not steel, but smart chests. That's the very lowest priority. Of all the things that I'm making, that's the least important to me. Although, it's the one thing that I need now, and probably should order more than 4 of. Here I've decided I'm just going to actually get the inserters that I need, and set them up. Just to make sure that everything is hunky-dory. So we're just going. This is where I run out of chests. So we're going to do that eventually. Everything needs 4 of the comparison combinators, and then the number of math modules, that's what changes. Just playing around with the power here, I'll move that around a little bit too. I'm checking my roadmap to make sure that I'm doing it correctly at that point of where I wanted it. The smart inserters are not what I want the least. It's just it works out the most conveniently because I need the triple inputs for the blues and the reds. I don't really have much else to say right now. I'm not used to doing this voiceover thing, obviously. It just feels like I'm just gabbing. There's no natural pauses. No script. Have you noticed the mistake I've made with the blue inserters yet? I will before the video's over. So now I have the entire bottom row I can use as a extraction area. That's where I realized it. So it'll look weird, but that's okay. Well, that's everything I've got. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button, consider subscribing, all that. We'll see you next time.